Pepsi sponsorship. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, maybe look up Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial. Anyway. Welcome back to my chaotic yet peaceful channel. Today I will be doing something that I haven't done in about 3 years. I don't know if it's very exciting for you, but it is a little bit exciting for me. That thing is coloring. And I know some of you may think that coloring, isn't that something that we learn to do in like kindergarten, where you gotta stay between the lines so that you learn how to hold a pencil and a pen. Well, if you've never heard of this, let me introduce you to the wonderful world of adult coloring books. I have one of them, this one. This book that I've got right here is by Joanna Basford. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But basically she's kind of the person who began this whole thing with adult coloring with her books. Long story short, I haven't done this in about 3 years. I first discovered this right after high school, when I took a couple of gap months between my high school and when university started. And I also opened an Instagram page and I found tons of other people who had the same hobby. And I got really interested in it. And my boyfriend got me this book, which was a very nice gift and not something that I would have bought myself. I'm going to show you all the pieces in this book that I actually colored, and I'm also going to color one piece that I started 2 or 3 years ago and I never completed. So the reason that happened was because university happened, but I also discovered watercolors. So for the past 2 years I was really into watercolors. However, for the past 6 months, I haven't been able to get myself to sit down and paint something really nice. I've only been doing acrylic painting and mirror painting, which some of you might have seen in my other videos. So I decided to take it back to my roots and try to color something in this book and see if my color theory maybe has improved, or how I see things maybe has improved. I don't think it has improved that much, but also welcome to this corner of my house. I got myself a standing desk. It's also adjustable. So alright, let me find a way to bring y'all closer so you can see what I'm working with here. So yeah, basically this is the book. It's called Lost Ocean. I put my name on it just in case I forget whose book it is. Yeah. And this book is also pretty cool because you can find hidden objects within each scene that you color. But anyway, this is not a book review. This is one of the more recent ones. I did this one in uni. Yeah, so it's the first one. I also am biased to coloring things on this side because they're just a bit easier to color, and also things that are a bit wider because I think my favorite coloring tool are the Stabilo thick boy markers, and then in a close second come these fine liners from Staedtler. I actually have no idea how much ink I have left in any of these, so I'm also really biased to doing things in rainbow order. I just feel that's the most satisfying thing. Crabs. One day I hope to have this whole book completed. At least that was my goal 3 years ago. Yep. This one is a mess up because on the other page I used something called chameleon pens, which are permanent pens. They also do a really nice blend that you can't really get with fine liners. I don't know if anyone actually cares about this. I actually haven't talked about this hobby in years with people. This side background is done with Japanese ink, which gives you that really bright effect, and then this background is done, I think it was with watercolor pencils, Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. And this is a jellyfish side, and yeah, I kind of ruined it, but that's all right. These two are my favorite pages out of the whole book. They both also took the longest. So this the background was not black, it was white. So the first thing I did before coloring in everything is I did the whole black background, and then plus to color in all the rest. So this took me days. And then this one, I just really enjoy the color choices because I decided to go a bit more bold with the oranges, water and fire combo, because in the middle I felt like I blended it in a bit too much, but then when I added that orange and yellow, it just popped. I can't pop my tongue. I don't even know why I tried. Anyway, this one I decided to add little triangles. I thought it would be a good idea to add mandalas all over the background, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I still haven't decided, obviously. Oh, I did this one in 2015, so I haven't decided since then. Oh, this one is also really nice. I really enjoyed how I did that little wave thing. On my Instagram, I also posted it, and I put a shell on top of another shell, and people were actually having trouble spotting the actual real shell in the picture. So this is a little one. More rainbows because I'm predictable like that. And even more rainbow. Obviously, I had to work a lot on my blending, but we can just cover that and pretend that I can blend. I think this is the first time where I actually attempted to do like blending with color pencils, and it took me forever because I had no idea how to use color pencils and blend with them. But I don't know, I guess I figured it out. I really hate that I wrote that in the middle. I think I should have just left it like that, but we learn from our mistakes. This one is the one that I'm going to be coloring in today, and that's just a normal one. This one, ooh, I like these ones a lot too. This one's all done in color pencil, and this one's all fine liner, which I think this is more of the vibe I'm going for today with the one I'm coloring in. So I don't know, but that's just the style. Rainbow again. I colored this one in sections and did a little video as the like things were colored in. Those two fishies. This one, we are just gonna not talk about it because it looks horrible. The diver looks completely deformed, and so does the shark. I don't know what I was thinking, and obviously I had zero experience with watercolor when I was doing this, so yeah, wish I hadn't done that, but I might just stick a paper on top of it when I actually end up coloring it. That's kind of the end of the book. And also got this piece, which is very, very long. I don't know how to show it to you. It's definitely very faded right now because it was up on my wall in my dorm for like years. And I also used it as a project for my first year biology class. They asked us to do a creative project because usually science students are afraid of doing art things. I decided that I wouldn't do an actual project. I would just submit something that I already had done and save time. So most of it is in fine liner and the background is in watercolor pencil. But once again, my blending needs work. So yeah, that was my tour of the book. And now we can begin the actual fun part of the video, which is coloring. So I began by coloring the anchor a boring old gray because I'm not creative, and decided to fill in all the spots of green I missed beforehand, like the little leaves and vines. And as you can tell, this particular piece is very symmetrical, so I had to kind of color a little bit in and then stop and then find the same part another 3 times on the same piece, if that makes sense. You can clearly see my hand going around in circles while I'm coloring. I also realized how totally out of practice I was. At first, the pens felt really awkward in my hand, and I was actually struggling to be accurate and stay within those tiny little lines. But as I kept going, it got a bit easier and quicker towards the end. I decided to go with purple and pink for the fish so that they would contrast nicely with the green plants. And also, picking colors took me way longer than I remember it taking me 3 years ago. But that just shows how out of practice I am. I was also working with the fear of my pens running out of ink, which they did, and I threw like 6 away. I would reach for those colors and they would stop working midway, so I had to change my strategy and color choices sometimes. So I took a break and went back to it later that night, you can see by the light change, and I decided to go in with some nice blue outlines and pops of yellow, which I think really brought it together at the end. I also did some light orange shading with color pencils in the yellow bits, and it gave it a bit more depth. So overall, I think this piece looks really nice for not doing this in like 3 years. I decided against coloring the background because I thought it actually looked better white, and I don't know what color I would color this background. I don't actually think black would look very good, and I think since the background is such a big part of this piece, it wouldn't make sense to color it. I think it would overshadow all the detail work that you actually did. I don't want to play with the positive and negative space when it already looks kind of nice with the white. I also pulled out all the colors that I ended up using. So of course, all the colors that I usually gravitate towards anyway in my color palette. I was actually thinking of doing a video where I would pick something from this book and color it only in colors that I don't usually gravitate towards. So that would be like reds, browns, autumny colors, things that are a bit more natural looking instead of bright like this. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that video. Alright, you know the drill. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this one, subscribe. My Instagram and Twitter are linked down below, but I also put them up on the screen. And if you over there, have any ideas for what you want my next video to be, comment them down below. And I'll see y'all next time. You know.